just struggled to score the ball pretty much the whole game. Was that a lot TCU, more y'all? What was that?
First of all, congratulations to TCU. They kind of led, and I think we took the lead in the third, but they got off to a good start. And I thought both teams played good defense. We played very differently. We got aggressive with them and extended pressure, and I thought they were very much toes on the three-point line, congestions. Sedona bothered us because she never came hardly above the charge arc. So we had no ability to roll behind her. And they made us play in that middle game. And I thought early, you talk about their defense, our shots, I thought we were going to beat them at the point of attack. I think, we were able to get by that first level. But I thought our shots were rushed. They were off balance. They were push shots. They weren't quite layups, and they weren't mid-range jump shots. And so I thought the fact that we were struggling to score, we didn't move the basketball well enough, in particular in the first half. Like, we got very stagnant. One person get it, beat their player, and then try to score going downhill. And sometimes we got the whistle and sometimes we didn't. But I thought their defensive game plan was really good against us. I mean, they executed it really, really well. Not everyone can do that because not everyone has a 6'7" center. But I thought they did in particular a good job on Sarah Andrews, who hurt them the last time. So they did a great job of not making mistakes on her, on step-ups, on drags, on ball screens. They made her play to her middle game. So, I thought they were elite defensively today.
I mean, after building so much momentum over the last 9 games or so, how much of a letdown is this overall? And then as you go into the next phase of the year, where do you go from here, kind of?
I don't think it's the 9 games. We wanted to be cutting a net down. We're not thinking about how many games in a row have we won. We're thinking about the game today and what it meant. And obviously meant the same thing to both teams. Neither one of us was picked to win this league. And I think they've been front runners since they beat Notre Dame and NC State. And we had to find our footing and figure it out. And then in the midst of it, I think they've been put in a really fortunate position that they've had all their starters, all season long. And that's a blessing. That was us our first year with 7 bodies and a really, really elite team with Melissa Smith and Queen Egbo. And but limited, one injury and you're a different team. And I think we've managed our injuries really, really well. But certainly, in a game that we miss, I don't know, how many is that, 47 shots, not having the best offensive rebounder in the league, in the game impacted us. And so, I'm just proud of our team for battling. We got down 9. That was the key point in the game. I thought we missed 4 layups in a row. When it got pushed out to 9, we missed a 2-on-1 layup on the break. We missed a driving layup. We missed 2 driving layups and an offensive rebound putback in that stretch, and that's when they extended it. And I think if we make those, the game stays 2 possessions. All of a sudden, you've got the pressure, you got the home crowd, you have all of that. But I thought that was the key point. Thought it was Big B's 3 was a huge 3 for them. Emma Nopu hit one late. Those were key points when our point of attack ball screen defense was really good. I mean, we forced Haley Van Lith into 7 turnovers. I think we did what we wanted to do. Sedona was great early. We shut her down as the game went along, but I thought those kids made big shots.
Nicki, to shoot the way you did, 27%, and to still have a chance at the end of the game. I mean, is there stuff you can build on there? And would you like to have another crack at them in the Big 12 tournament?
Yeah, of course. I'm a competitor. Our kids are competitors. They've proved that. They've proved that all year long, and in particular down the stretch. You know, when Bella goes down, Aaliyah and Wise step up. When nobody realizes this, but we didn't have Jada all week. Jada rolled her ankle in practice, and I thought her timing was off. I thought she was a warrior. I just thought her ball screen D, her aggressiveness on Haley, I thought she was fantastic. But from a game planning perspective, offensively and defensively, when you miss 5 straight days, I think your timing is off. Your flow is off. So it's just been one thing after another for us. And I think we can say all right, if we've got to win a defensive battle, this is what we're going to do. And I think I've always said, I don't want to be defined as an offensive team. I don't want to be defined as a defensive team. I want to be an elite basketball team, and I want to be able to win games in the 80s, and I want to win games in the 50s. And I thought, Sarah Andrews has a typical Sarah Andrews day, and we're cutting nets down right now. But I thought, you look at Sarah's plus minus, and they just stayed attached to her. They did a really good job, similar to Connor, and I thought Connor's one basket in the second half was arguably a push-off, we glued up on her, and it was a big shot for her in transition, but I thought we played her well, and they played Sarah on the flip side really, really well.
Nicki, what was the explanation on the timeout with 19.7 seconds left when you went out and were obviously trying to get an explanation?
It was a warning for coming out of the coach's box, but they said it's loud in Foster, and they couldn't hear him, and so he did what he had to do to get a timeout. So,
follow up on that. Did you have a timeout left there at the end when they missed the second free throw or not?
No.
Okay.
Believe me. I promise I would have used it. I save my timeouts they're going to carry into 2029.
Coach, I know it's a bittersweet feeling, but can you talk about at the beginning, honoring the seniors? What does this class mean to you?
Yeah, it's a unique class. I mean, this is probably, look across the country, this class of 2025, this is the last COVID year. It's you've got Sarah, who's been with me for 4 years, and Aaliyah, who's been with me for 2.5 months. But I think they all have played with a ton of pride in a Baylor jersey. I think that I will always appreciate kids that say yes to me. And I very, very rarely talk about this program as in me, because it's us, it's Baylor, it's not Nicki Collen, I'm not the show here. I want my team to always be what people pay attention to. But it mattered to me that kids said yes to me and continue to say yes to me. They want to play here at Baylor, but they anymore, especially with the portal, it's about relationships and the relationships you would create with your current players and what they say when they hit the streets. And believe me, there's a lot of negative recruiting out there. But I would line up any kid who played in a Baylor uniform and be okay with them talking to anyone, because I firmly believe that we treat kids right. And, we're going to have kids leave like every school does, but they're going to leave because they want more playing time or they want to play closer to home. But it won't be because we don't love them. It won't be because they don't feel like if they got a cold, we're not checking on them, that if something's going on at home, that we're not sensitive to it. But we're going to coach the heck out of them. And so I think this group is just a unique group. You got 2-year kids, you got 3-month kids, you got 1-year kids. But I think they've all played really, really hard for the name on the front of their uniform.
Coach, you mentioned how neither of these teams were picked to win, but how great is it for the sport, for the Big 12, to have a game like this environment, final game of the regular season, comes down to the last shot?
Yeah, it's incredible. I probably said this on the radio 72 times, The crowd was incredible today. Seeing that many people in white, getting behind this team. This is the Big 12 couldn't have drawn it up any better to have a winner-takes-all game on kind of the last day of the regular season on national TV. Both teams playing well. I think representing our league at a high level. Like I said, it was ugly, but it wasn't for lack of that's like the one thing I will say about what Mark does. I think what we do is we both like pretty basketball. Like I think we like free-flowing offense, ball screens, players making plays. We do it differently. Sedona's just really unique, and her ability to be such a good facilitator on the perimeter is awesome. But it was mucky. It was, today, and I think it was contrasting styles, but with the goal to make it really, really hard to score. And I think both teams did that. So I think, while it wasn't pretty, I think it was a really good game. TCU, they won it. Like he did a good job, and they did a good job, and Haley made plays, and their role kids are really good, and they don't get talked about a lot because Connor's such an elite three-point shooter, because Haley's so good in the middle game and is shifty with the ball, and Sedona does her thing. But the defense that Emma Nopu plays cannot be undervalued. The shot Big B hit, Donovan Hunter giving them another ball handler and defender. I think they've been really good with her in the starting lineup. So they're a really good basketball team, and it was a good game.
Yaya made some pretty aggressive plays today, and, how has she kind of embraced, she's played well off the bench all year, but how has she embraced kind of stepping into the starting lineup for Bugs and really kind of taking advantage of this expanded role?
Yeah, Yaya just loves the hoop, she's a hooper. An emotional kid. It's her strength and her Achilles heel. She wants to do well. She takes a lot of pride in her game, in basketball. And so I think coming off the bench, every kid wants to start, and I think when she came to Baylor, she started and scored 25 points a game at Ohio. And so, learning to play at this level, learning to play with a different role. I mean, she's just, she's done whatever we've asked her to do, and it hasn't always been perfect. And but the kid really, really cares. I joke with her, she cared enough to ask the question if she could realistically get another year. And I don't know what waiver she was looking for, since she played in like 30 games her freshman year and 30, but I told her it must be that she likes me okay, that she was trying to get another year to come back and play here. So I thought she was aggressive. I thought she got downhill. I thought she drew fouls. She missed some, but it wasn't lack of effort. It wasn't lack of trying to make a play for her team. She obviously made the big three at the end, but it was even the defensive play to create the turnover. And that kid just cares a lot. She cares a lot about her teammates, about her coaching staff, and about being successful. Just a really, really awesome kid. Thanks, everyone. Thanks.
Sarah, how tough was that, particularly on your floor? TCU winning like that, and you guys having a shot there at the end.
It was real tough, but I don't think we gave up until that clock hit 0-0. So I think we left everything we had on the court tonight.
Nettie, can you talk a little bit about the battle with Sedona and kind of how that played out throughout the game? It seems like you kind of found a groove there in the second half, but what was giving you trouble, and how did you try to fight through it?
She's just she's a tall girl. She has a great length, so she's hard to just shoot over. You have to get counter moves and get her on her feet before you can finish. So when I figured that out, it was easier.
Sarah, obviously a disappointment, but what can you guys take out of this game? Because, you're in it despite shooting it like y'all did.
I think you said it. We shot the ball pretty bad tonight, but I think our defense. We played a great game of defense, but we still got more basketball left to play. So just carrying our defense over and knowing that offense will come, we'll get in the gym and we'll put it all back together.
Sarah, saw you emotional there after the game. Was that just maybe, potentially playing your last game here in Waco? And where did that emotion come from? And how much has your time meant here at Baylor when you're kind of counting down the days here?
Yeah. I knew I was going to get emotional sooner or later, but I've gave Baylor 5 years, and Baylor has gave me a great 5 years. The fans, the coaches, to all the way down to my family, to the staff outside of basketball. Everybody's just played a huge role in my years here at Baylor. So I think, I want to go out there and do it for them one last time, if it was the last one at Baylor. So I think the emotion came out. I just want to do it for the fans and everybody that came out tonight. We appreciate you, but that's really what it was. It's just want to do it for everybody that came out to support us tonight.
Sarah, all the momentum y'all built up over the last 9 games or so, does this take away from that? And how do you kind of push through as you kind of go into the postseason now?
I don't think it takes away from it. I think, we learned a lot in this game. Next time, if the ball's not falling, got to get a little more stops on defense. I think it's a lot of learning lessons that we did in this game. But I think, it's going to make us even more hungry going into the tournament.
This question is for both of you. This has been a one-sided rivalry for quite some time now, but TCU has picked it up over the last couple of years. How fun is it to play in a rivalry game of this magnitude at the end of the season with the Big 12 title on the line?
I'm new to this rivalry, so it was just a game for me, but I know I saw somewhere that it was the first time where it was like the last game was winner takes all in the Big 12. So, it was a really great opportunity, and I thought we gave our all. We just fell a little bit short.
Yeah, I think, it was great for women's basketball. I think, the fans showed up, and I think it was great for both Baylor and TCU to have a game like this. Like Nettie said, it was the first time that this has ever happened, and it was just a great thing for women's basketball.
Nettie, would y'all like to have another crack at them in the Big 12 tournament? And how would you approach that differently, if at all?
If it works out that way, I hope we get another chance to prove that, we can beat them, because I know that we can. Not much that we have to do differently. I think just making our shots. I think tonight was just one of those nights where the basket wasn't really on our side, so we'll definitely be more prepared if we face them again.
Last one, Parker.
This is really for either of you, but Yaya also pretty emotional after the game. What can you say about what she did tonight, just providing that spark?
Yaya came out and played. I think she had a phenomenal game. I think, the last shot that she took kind of hurt her. I think that's where a lot of that came from. But I was telling her, hey, you played an amazing game. This one shot doesn't determine you. We still got a lot more basketball to play.
All right, thank you.